means how many wants to talk among yourself? No problem, you can be no one. Okay, very good. Okay. And how many wants to use mobile when I am talking? Okay, that means I have come to good institution. Okay. I hope you all keep up that. You know, 22nd of April is celebrated as Earth Day. Do you know what is Earth Day? See, this is going to be an interactive session. I want somebody to help me out. Then I will start speaking. Nobody wants to talk. How many Earth we have?
Only one.
Only one. Why Earth is in trouble? Because of pollution. Global warming. Then?
Urbanization.
Sorry? Somebody said something here.
Urbanization.
Urbanization. Okay. You know the major problem is the irresponsible human beings. Who are these irresponsible fellows? The fellows who pollute the Mother Earth, the people who over extract the natural resources. So, you know, when you burden Mother Earth, naturally there are implications. One of the things that is happening is the emissions, carbon emissions. You all know, madam, I said I don't want that. Please remove. We are celebrating World Environment Day on 5th of June. The agenda of the thing is beat plastic. We should never use the plastic. And that again shows the irresponsible behavior. I have analyzed the water content in those bottles and it contains the dioxin. You know what is dioxin? Dioxin is a chemical substance that is a carcinogen. Carcinogen means it introduces cancer. My assessment is the people, if they drink continuously 1,000 times, they will get admitted to the cancer hospital. See, every action of ours has the effect on us as well as on the earth. When we throw this plastic that get disintegrated, forms a microplastic. And studies have shown, our studies also have shown, there are microplastic in fish, tissue of a fish. When you eat microplastic, is it a good thing? What will happen? People get cancer. So this is where you need to understand how to lead a life which is environmentally friendly. Can you remove your bag? Be comfortable. I don't want you to run away. Okay. So environmentally friendly lifestyle. The government of India has a program called LIFE. How many of you know about that? LIFE. That's where I always tell my people, Mera Desh Mahan. Because nobody knows anything. If they know only, then their problem starts, isn't it? So when they don't know anything, then talking to dumb society is very easy. That is what the current people are doing. And that's where the misuse of resources is happening, except over exploitation of the resources is happening. And the pollution of the environment is happening. That is where we are telling, invest in the environment, so that you can reduce the burden what you are bringing into the system. Okay? With this initial remark, I will start my talk. I work in the area of lakes. Some of you might know. You have seen lakes. How many of you have seen lakes? Is there anyone who doesn't? You don't know the lake, huh? You too. You didn't raise your hands. ಕೆರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಮ್ಮ? Okay, I am going to talk about the lakes and how it contributes to the changes in climate if you mismanage the lake. So, one of the agenda is to, if you can ensure clean air and water to your children, you have maintained the sustainability. To have clean and air environment, you need to do some work. You should not pollute. So that is where you have to do the planning. That is where the government has to plan. The citizens have to plan. They have to reduce the pollution in the system. Now, when you have to do the planning, one need to be the sensible human being. Who are these people who are sensible human beings? People who know about environment. How many of you know about environment? None. You know about environment. What is environment?
Our surroundings.
Your surrounding. Very good. Okay. So now, see, we did a study in Bangalore to find out how many people know environment. See, in a classroom of 48 or 49, there's only one boy said he knows environment. If when they look at Bangalore, only 3.5% of people know about environment, how to manage waste. You all would have seen the waste being dumped in the street, isn't it? So the second thing happens is the pollution when you use the vehicle and all those things. And many people didn't even know how to manage the solid waste. Most of them think that if they throw it on the roads, that is the management. But they do not know the polluting the environment, throwing it out amounts to the polluting the environment. That's where we end up paying the price. Now, I will start my lecture in a very simple way. You all know about this, I suppose. You would have studied in your school. What is that? Huh? Food chain. Okay. What does that show? Huh? Very good. See, when you eat, you are eating the material and energy. Herbivore feeds on the plants. Then the next predators, they feed on the herbivores. Okay. Now essentially what happens is, when you look at, there is an energy and material transfer happen from one level to the other level. So I am sure you all know about the thermodynamic principles. What is the principle says? Thermodynamic principle. How many principles are there? Three. Very good. Can you repeat? Tell me which are those three principles? Energy. And then? Okay. See, when you look at this one, there's a transfer of energy happen from one level to the other level. And when there's a transfer of energy happen, there is a loss of energy also in the form of respiration. At every level, there is a 10% loss is there. That is called law of entropy. I am sure you would have studied the law of entropy. How many of you are very attentive in the class? When thermodynamic principle is talked about, who taught you the thermodynamic principle? So, that the faculty is here? Not here. Okay. So, and then look at this carefully. Whatever is left in the system, is getting converted into elemental form. You know, who does that? Bacteria and fungi does. The microorganism does the job. That's where when you look at nature, there is nothing called waste. Everything gets assimilated or managed. Then where do you see waste? If the nature is handling the everything, then there's no waste actually as per the principle. Where do you see the waste?
Which is not biodegradable.
Hmm?
Which is not biodegradable.
You will see waste where waste people are. Who are these waste fellows? Too lazy fellows. They don't want to cook at home. They'll, just because their pop has given the money or mom has given the money, they get the food through the sweeping and then create the waste of plastic and all. And half of the food they waste it. See, the moment you said, see a Swiggy fellow landing in front of your neighbor's house now, you can put a tag on their door saying that waste fellows. Am I right? Then the second waste fellows are too much dependence on my friends plastic. You know, people go to the hotel. Carrying the tiffin carrier is a problem for them. They will go to the hotel and get idli and sambar in a polythene bag. They are the second set of waste fellows. You know, when you analyze, as a students of science, you are all doing BSc, you know, you should analyze this. Analyze the content of sambar. You will be surprised to see again dioxin there. That means when your irresponsible parents are bringing the food for you, they are also giving you cancer. You understand the severity of the problem. Okay? So now let us try to understand the Mother Earth. How much resources are there on Mother Earth? You know, you all know diversity of plants and animals. You know, our scriptures talk about, 8 to 12 million species are there on the earth. That's what our scriptures talk about. If you look at scientific literature, we have said about 1.3 million species are there on the earth. So now, in the science, what we have done, out of 1.3 million species, only the 5% we have assessed their medicinal properties. Had we analyzed the medicinal properties of the entire 1.3 million species, you would have got a lot of medicines. But where are the youngsters to do this science? Today's science, after doing the BSc, MSc, they become in a BPO. Some stylish English they want to speak. But they don't think about their motherland. They don't think about how to make the motherland the proud of them. Because of their existence, the motherland gets a benefit. Okay? Now, I will take you to one region, the Western Ghats. That is where I have been working for the last 2.5 decades. The Western Ghats run from Kerala to the Gujarat. When you look at Western Ghats, this is the region where we do the studies, lot of studies we do. Currently we are in Goa. When we go to Goa, you have to be stylish, little bit. That's where I don't, because I crossed my age of becoming stylish. My student I take. So we have all the current trend of stylishness. It fits the Goa agenda. Okay? Now coming back to the Western Ghats, let us see how many species are there on the earth. You must be knowing latitude and longitude. That gives the x and y coordinate. Along the x-axis, if you look at how many species are there across the countries, okay, you will see that at 8 to 14 degree latitude, you have the highest number of species. Highest number of species means you have the diversity, the different types of plants and animals. When you have different types of plants and animals, what is the benefit? What is the benefit? I think some of you can come and occupy here, youngsters. Those who are young can come and sit here. If you are not young, you can sit. Yeah, come. All of you come. Okay. There's enough space.
Come now. Yes. We're not in back side. It's already finished. We are looking at what's in there. Come.
You decided not to come? Huh? This is how you treat your guests at home? Please come. When I say it has to happen. Come, five youngsters come here. Come, bani ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Don't worry, I will ask lot of questions to this. And take them. They look very smart. Here is there, no? Sit here. Okay. What is the, if you have a large number of the different types of plants and animals, what is the advantage of that? Huh? ಹೌದಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ?
More trees are there. Good air. Less pollution.
Availability of commercial materials.
ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ. See, when you have different types of plants and animals, you have different food and different medicine. When your food plate contains the different varieties of food, you are very healthy. You know, you would have seen people who take lot of pizza and such junk fellows, no? They are junk only. Because their body doesn't get the immunity. So now, if you want to see what changes are happening in the Western Ghats, how do you change? How do you analyze? You know, suppose if I want to see what changes have happened in you, I will take your photograph of today and 10 years back and tell you what changes have happened in you. That's correct? Now, the same thing, if I do it for Earth, then I will know that what changes are happening. You know, we have launched the satellites. You all know satellites, no? So, way back in 70s, you know, the satellites keep revolving the Earth, goes on taking a picture of the Earth. You know, when they take the picture of the Earth, you know, 1970, 80, 90, every 21 or 30 days interval, you have so much data. You know, that's called big data. If you have the ability to analyze, you know, then you can find out what changes are happening. For example, when you look at the Earth, you can make out the vegetation, the buildings, etc. You know, that is where to analyze that. We have, you know, the latest thing like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. We use that for analyzing that. So that, you know, my students, in fact, I have brought two of them who are experts in artificial intelligence and machine learning. They are analyzing the guava forest now. You know, we know that in 1970, what is the forest cover in the Western Ghats? And today what is the forest cover? See, that's what we analyzed here. You can see from 1980s to 2018, you can see that. You see the green is coming down. Green indicates the forest, evergreen forest and the deciduous forest. Now that means the forests are coming down. Not only forests are coming down, forests are also getting fragmented. You know, earlier the entire region was a forest. Now today what happens? Some fellow will come and do the building here. He will fragment that side and he will fragment this side. You know, animals from that region, they cannot go to that region because this fellow is sitting here. So then what will happen? When the animal passes through, no, there is a human-animal conflict happens. Then he will start crying, he lost the property, etc. You know, the mistake is done by that fellow only, but then finally he will blame the animals, okay? Now, you know, when we analyze this, see this, if you understand these techniques, you can get a wonderful job. You know, don't think that you are doing BSc. You are the youngsters required for our country today. You know, when I got the invitation here, I accepted this invite. Why? Because I want more and more youngsters to get into the science. You know, one talk of mine today, if you all decide to do higher studies and start contributing in the nation building, I've done my job. And that's what is required for the country. And I have been successful in making some of the youngsters to take up the path of science. You know, I don't go to engineering college where people want to just do the copy paste. What these IT fellows do? Some code they will get from US, these fellows will change some and then they sleep half of the time. And whatever the money they get, they think they get a big money and they don't even respect parents at all. Whereas when you have the scientific background, science knowledge, you will be the human being. You will think of the nature, you will think of the society, you will think of your parents. You can see the people who are ill-treating parents at home or ill-treating youngsters at home are the one who are machines. Those are the machines we see today. We have produced more and more machines. You know, you start counting the money, we think that machine is very great machine. But we do not know that machine is of no use to us. Okay, now coming back to this subject. You know, we know how to analyze the changes that is happening in the system. Okay, now we also quantify how much carbon is there in these trees. You know, during photosynthesis. As you all know, the photosynthesis happens in the... Now my friend is talking, I have to ask him. My friend wearing check shirt and specs. Okay? I don't know your name. Can you tell me the photosynthesis? I forgot. After looking at you, I forgot. You are such a source of inspiration for me. Can you tell me what is photosynthesis? Stand up.
Process of food preparation by the plants.
How?
It absorbs sunlight and the nutrition from the land.
That's all. If I produce the food, then your mother is also doing photosynthesis. She is also preparing food. This is something very important to miss. Huh? That's where when somebody is taking a class now, at least you should learn to respect the classroom by not talking with your friends. If you want to talk to a friend, no, you take him also out and then talk. I have no problem. First is that the discipline is required in the system. Okay, now still I have not got the answer about photosynthesis. Maybe I'll ask your friend who is also wearing check shirt, with whom you are talking about. Huh?
Process of nutrition by plants in the help of sunlight and carbon dioxide.
Sunlight and
Carbon dioxide.
see what you missed, do you know? Then it get converted into glucose. Now that means, you know, the plant does the job of taking away carbon dioxide. Who are the people? How the carbon dioxide get into the system? Huh? How carbon dioxide get into the system? Human activity, like? Huh? don't understand pollution. But here also some people are trying. What is this? I will come to you. I know who all are speaking. I will come and ask a question. Don't worry. Huh? What are the human activities creating pollution and then use carbon dioxide? Which are the activities?
Smoking factories, vehicles.
Smoking. Do you smoke? Then where the smoking comes?
I don't smoke others.
Huh?
So many people around smoke, we burn so many things, plastics and all, that causes nothing.
Okay. Then do you use two-wheeler? Do you use two-wheeler? Do you cook food at home? Then do you emit carbon at home also? When you cook food?
Refrigerator.
Refrigerator. Okay. Okay. When you have company, you will become knowledgeable. Okay. Then next. Okay. The human activity. Now the carbon is in the environment. It has to be removed. If you don't remove carbon, what happens? It forms a thick layer in the atmosphere. When it forms thick layer, you know whatever the heat that is generated here doesn't get escaped. When it doesn't escape, then what will happen? You will have the warming of the earth. When you have the warming of the earth, that phenomena is called global warming. When the temperature of your body goes up, what happens to you? Hmm? See all those implications. That is when changes in climate happen. Now, if you want to mitigate the changes in climate, you know, changes in climate mean when you want rain, there is no rain. When you don't want it to oppose, see, you would have cut the crop, you know, harvesting crop. If you are from agriculture background, you will understand this problem. You know, mangoes are about to cut, heavy rain, then you lose all the crop. These are the problems the people are facing today because of the pollution or the carbon emission. Now, the carbons are taken away by these trees or the vegetation during photosynthesis. We just quantified how much carbon is stored in the trees in the Western Ghats. Our study shows 1.23 million gigagram of carbon is stored. So now 1.3 million tons of carbon, gigagram is a ton. And when you look at every year, about 37,000 gigagram of carbon they gets sequestered or the stored. That carbon is equivalent to the carbon that is emitted in the cities like Cochin, Trivandrum, Bangalore, etc. That means nature knows how to balance it. But unfortunately, people in Bangalore are just crossing the threshold. That's where we have the problem. Okay? Now, we just did the, see, when carbon is being taken away by the environment, taken out in the environment by this vegetation, naturally it is doing the service. When it is doing the service, you should quantify, no? Suppose you go and work in some booth for 1 hour, that person pays you 100 rupees, let us say. That is the service you are rendering, because of that he is paying you. Now similarly, the carbon, when it is taken away, that is the service provided by the forest. What is the amount? You know, we quantify it amounts to 100 rupees or $1.4 billion. You know why we need this kind of calculation? You know, these are the trees which are there, you know, in our environment for a long time. You know, those trees when you look at, they are all storehouse of carbon. When they are storehouse of carbon, you know, they have been taking away the carbon from the atmosphere since long time. You know, our country was not industrialized. We are getting industrialized now. So earlier, whatever the pollution that has happened, it is because of the industrialized countries. Now that carbon is taken by our trees. So if those forest has to be conserved, those fellows also had to pay. You know, because we have only one earth. Whether you emit carbon here, whether America emits carbon, it is the same. Because finally it gets into the one atmosphere. And you will have the problem of that. That is where when you want to discuss in the international forum, this kind of discussion and this kind of calculation will help. Okay? Now, what is likely to happen if the same trend of degradation continues? You know, our study shows that only 10% of the Western Ghats has got the forest. How much forest cover should be there in a region as per the government law? Huh? What is the percentage of the forest? Hmm? Anyone?
63.
Huh?
63.
Who said? How much you said? 63. Are you sure? Anyone else? One number is correct, sir. The other number is not correct. As per the norm, 33% should have been retained. Now what we have in Western Ghats is only less than 10%. Okay? And we see more of the degradation happening in the Western Ghats. And what is the implication of that? There will be change in temperature. You know, some region become very warm. For example, the Kerala, there will be increase in temperature. And the North Karnataka, which has a higher temperature, where people are growing the crop suitable for higher temperature, will have a lower temperature. So this is the cost you are going to pay. Then the second thing is the rainfall pattern. You know, in Kerala, the rainfall is 6 to 8 months. It will start getting into 3 to 4 months. That means people cannot grow cash crop there. And another thing that is going to happen is the rainfall, rainy days. You know, as you all know, when it rains, the monsoon is about 4 months in Karnataka, 6 to 8 months in Kerala, because it's closer to India. Okay. 4 months in Karnataka, instead of it raining every day for 4 months, if it comes in 2-3 days, what will happen? You will have the flooding. When you have the flooding, you will have the landslides and mudslides. That's what happened in Kodagu and Wayanad in Kerala in 2018 and 19. Are there anyone from Kodagu? No one from Kodagu? Chikmagalur? Okay. Then what about Shivamogga? Okay. So you all would have seen this happening in your home villages. Okay. So, okay, now, do we require trees? How many of you think the trees are required? Okay, all of you, almost all of you are saying. Huh? See, this is what when I was of your age, I used to see the trees and I used to have water. Today, in the same location, I don't have water. Why? There are no trees. Do you agree with this? Okay, to understand this, what I will do is, when you look at the any region, landscape, the way the landscape is covered, the ecosystem functions are also dependent on that. What are the functions of the ecosystem? Hydrological cycle or the water cycle, biogeochemical cycles, etc. Water cycle? What is water cycle? I will ask my friend here. What is water cycle? You are my friend. Tell me.
How the water will become vapors and condense in the cloud, then precipitate again.
Then
The cycle continues.
cycle continues. Why I asked this question now? About 2 years back, I was talking to a group of people. They were all in the age group of 35 plus. 35 to 50 or 55, they were there. I asked, what is water cycle? One fellow told me. He is also teacher in one of the engineering college. He said, sir, see outside. What I can see outside in a room like this? Huh? He said, see outside, people are carrying water pot on bicycle. When you carry water on cycle, it becomes water cycle. Huh? Do you agree with that? See, now, these kind of fellows in the system are the problem for us. And we have such fellows more and more in the system. There is some instrument called mobile. All dumb fellows know, all the time they will be doing this. Intelligent fellows don't touch. You can find in your classroom also. A good student doesn't use mobile much. Worst student is addicted to mobile, married to mobile only. What do you think? Do you agree with me? You don't agree with me. Then, tell me the. I want to answer. That's why I looked at your face. How mobile helps? How mobile helps you?
Sir, if I go 150 kilometers or 200 kilometers away, I don't know the route, sir. If I put Google Maps,
Okay, sit down. Only for that you require, right? You know, before you are born, I used to do field work in Western Ghats. Without your mobile, I used to go to all the villages without much problem. At that time, I used to talk to the villagers. You know, they used to give the direction. Today, your Google Mama, I am not sure whether it gives the correct route also. Huh? Because the other day I was in Uttara Kannada district. I was supposed to travel from Yellapur to Sirsi. Instead of taking me to Sirsi, it was directing me to the Kumta. Then I told my driver, just switch off this, I will give the route. Okay? So now anyway, you have right to use the technology, but don't misuse. See, when you misuse, you become a dumb fellow. Our country doesn't require dumb fellow. Our country requires an enterprising youngster like you. The way you responded to me, no, that shows that you are enterprising. If you are dumb, no, you would have closed your eyes and slept. Am I right? You have to be active. The two girls are sitting next to you. Correct, no? Okay, now let us come back from the jovial mood to the business, okay? Now I have activated the system at the cost of my friend, okay? Don't worry. Now, I will take you to a river basin, okay? Now, how the changes have happened, let us try to understand. Sharavati river basin. Is there anyone from Shivamogga? Yeah, Sharavati basin. Yeah. Are you from Shivamogga, Sharavati basin? You know, Sharavati originates at Ambutirtha, traverses about 128 kilometers, joins the ocean at Bangalore. Okay? Now, we constructed a dam in 1965 at Linganmakki. You know, with construction of the dam, what happened? The reservoir area, you know, there are 179 villages were there that got submerged. You know, at that time, the villagers who are there now, when you submerge the region, they cannot live there. They were forcefully taken out from here. They are put in a Bhadravati, dry area. You know, these farmers were practicing the wet cultivation. They were growing the paddy, sugarcane, etc. But they are put in Bhadravati where there is no water. They cannot grow the paddy or the sugarcane. Then what did they do? They waited for the reservoir work to be completed. They came to this region. You know, they converted the forest in this region and started practicing agriculture. Today, when you look at this region, you know, this is Linganmakki catchment area. As you all know, catchment area is the region. When it rains the water to this particular thing. See, this is how the catchment is. Now, you see that one area has become like this and one area still has the forest cover. Okay? Now this region is like this, while this region is like this. Okay? Now, if you want to see what changes have happened, let us take the rainfall. You know, today in our country we have 123 years of rainfall data. Every day rainfall data we have. Take that rainfall data, divide into two time periods, 1901 to 1964, 1965 to today. You know, when you do that analysis, during 1901 to 1964, this entire region was receiving the rainfall of 3,000 to 4,500. But after constructing the dam, 1965 to today, when you look at, this region still receives 3,000 to 4,500, while this region started getting a rainfall of 3,700 to 1,900. Almost 50% rainfall decline. You know, you might say, no, rainfall may be different. It may be rain shadow region. This is all those Buddhivantas will tell me when I go there. But when I look at this entire region is a rain catching region. There is no change in the landscape. And the region receives orographic precipitation. See, that is where understanding this scientific aspect will help you in managing the resources. Okay? Now you understood wherever the people have removed the forest, rainfall had declined. Now to understand this further, we divided this into subbasin. You see that there is a stream. Stream is also known as Jari in Kannada. Okay, two streams join and form the second order stream, and that cluster forms the tributary. We found out in each of this tributary subbasin what is the quantity of forest cover and what is the rainfall. Now this region is called eastern side, this region is the western side. This dark line shows the boundary of this subbasin. Now when you do this analysis, see on the eastern side forest cover is 30%, rainfall is 1776, or 41%, rainfall is 1774. While on the western side forest cover is 65%, rainfall is 4800, or the forest cover is 60%, rainfall is 4400. Now we see there is a link between the forest cover and the rainfall. Do you agree with that? All of you agree with that, or any disagreement, my friend? Do you agree with this? Okay, that's good. How that happens? Can you answer that? Earlier you said water cycle, no? Does the forest take part in the water cycle?
Yes.
How? See, he said the process of condensation, the cloud formation. You know, those clouds have to be stopped. Then only you will have the rain. These tall trees in Western Ghats, no, they stop the cloud. That's where you have the rain in that region. Now, if you remove the tree, what will happen? Cloud, instead of giving rain in the Western Ghats, it will give rain in northern Karnataka. Like Raichur will have flood and all those things. That is the kind of thing that has happened over a period of time. Now, whatever the quantity of rainfall you get, you know, how much water is there in your well or a stream or river, that decides your fate. You all require water every day, no? Is there somebody who doesn't require water? No one is there. Okay? Now, to understand how long water is there in the river or stream, we did a hydrological investigation. You know, we selected some of the streams, we measured that. How many days in a year water is available, how much water is available. If enough water is available throughout the year, we graded it as A type. If water is available for 8 months, we grade it as B. If it is for 6 months, we graded it as C. And we graded the streams as D when it has water only during the monsoon. Now that's how ABCD we have graded. You know, for doing that, we did the observation for 3 years, 36 months. You know, 36 months measurement, based on the, why 36 months? Because we wanted to see the seasonal variability. You know, summer it is different from monsoon. And year to year variability is there. What the rain you got this year may not be the same next year. So to understand that, 3 years is scientifically said that it is the appropriate. Okay. Now based on that we graded as ABCD. Now where does this A type of stream occur? A type of stream occur when the catchment has a forest of native species. When the forest is converted to monoculture plantation of rubber, acacia, etc., you will have B or C. That means only the 6 to 8 months of water. When you degrade the catchment with a forest cover less than 30%, you see water available only during the monsoon. That's how we arrived at a 30% green cover is because of that. Okay? Now, how did we do the measurement? See, we put the sensors in the underlying layers. You know, when we go to the forest, we dig and put the sensors. We quantify the how much water get infiltrated. You didn't say about infiltration. When it rains, near Hindutai, that is called infiltration. You missed that, okay? So now, if the forests of native species are there, because they are diverse. When it is diverse, roots are also diverse. When roots are diverse, the soil microorganisms are also diverse. See, that is where the science helps. As a students of science, you will appreciate this. When the soil microorganisms are diverse and abundant, they make the soil porous or permeable. When the soil is porous, when it rains, the water percolates. When water percolates, it fills this zone. This is the saturated zone or the groundwater zone. Then it fills this zone which is a vado zone, which has a rock and open spaces, etc. Then the topsoil. Then only after saturation you will see a water flowing in the stream. And if you urbanize it, like in urban fellows, they don't have brain, that's why they use the mobile too much. If I ask what is 16 into 6, they take the mobile and show me what is this. I won't ask that question here because I don't want to meet such fellows. So, that is what happens. Since it is a paired surface, nothing goes inside. Now, during monsoon, you have 4 months, you have water because of the rain. Now, the next 4 months, the water that is stored in this region, that start flowing to the river or stream. Next 4 months, the water stored in the groundwater zone, that comes to river or stream for the next 4 months. That's how you have 12 months of water. Now, when you convert this native forest or diverse species into the rubber plantation, rubber or acacia, they have a similar leaf structure. Degradation pattern is also similar. They form a thick layer. It won't degrade. Because of that, less circulation of water happens. That's where, wherever the plantations are there, you would have water because of the rain 4 months and water stored in this region for the next 4 months. Maximum 8 months you will get. When you degrade the catchment, you don't have the water at all beyond the monsoon. Okay? Now our study shows that when it rains, 60 to 65% of the water get infiltrated. It is like when your parents are earning, if they keep money in their bank, in the FD, they will have money during the retirement. Because today's children don't take care of the parents. So that's where the thing. If they don't keep money, what will happen? Nobody takes care. The elders come to the street. That's what in Bangalore it is happening. I see many elders on the street in Vruddhashrams. Some of the Vruddhashrams where there is no payment. When you go there, you will really feel bad about it. Yesterday that person was an officer. Today he is in the thing without money. Because he spent the money for the children and today children have thrown him out of the home. So such a dangerous situation is happening. Now coming back to the science. When you have water, I said 65% of the water will get infiltrated. Now we also looked at what is the demand of water in the society. The demand is in the form of agriculture, horticulture, etc. We quantify. This different color shows the demand. This region where forests are there, forests are good, you see there is a sufficient amount of water, there is a surplus water. Demand is also high, but there is surplus water. In this region where forests are not there, there is a demand for water, but there is no water. So there is not enough water. Now to summarize what I said so far, this is the region where 12 months water is available. This is the region where 8 months is there. This is the region 6 months, yellow is 6 months, and this is 4 months. Just look at the forest cover in the region. Wherever forests are there, you have the 12 months water. Good forest, 12 months water. Wherever forests are fragmented, depending on the level of fragmentation and inclusion of rubber, etc., you have 8 to 6 months water. Wherever forests are degraded less than 30% green cover, you have only 4 months water. Now you see how it affects the livelihood of the farmers. Okay. Now in this region, if the farmers earn, in this region where 12 months water is there, farmers earn 1,54,000 rupees per acre per year. While in this region, the farmers earn 32,000 rupees per acre per year. Now you might ask, why 1,54,000 versus 32,000? Because water is available 12 months, they can grow multiple crops. They can grow cash crops like sugarcane, areca, etc. Because of that, they earn 1,54,000. While the farmers in this region, they can grow only one crop. That's where our country, if you look at, 65% is rural area. Providing water to them is more important. Sustaining the water is important. Now, another interesting thing, if you go and analyze the microorganism in this region, you see the microorganisms are diverse and abundant here. Okay? And also, you will see the pollinators. Pollinators are abundant in this region. When pollinators are abundant, pollination becomes efficient. When pollination becomes efficient, you see the yield of the crop is higher. See, in this region, for example, paddy, if it is about 14 to 16 quintal per acre, in this region, the farmers get only 6 to 8 quintals per acre. Now, if you want to double the income of the farmer, what should we do? You should do? Huh?
Increase
Good.
forest.
Increase the
Forest.
forest. See, this is one of the things you should keep in mind. So now Prime Minister of the country keeps telling, I want to double the income of the farmer. He thinks that what he is putting in the account 10,000, if you make it 20,000, that's doubling. But you people should tell him, see, keeping the ecosystem will help the farmers to earn. Okay? As a youngster, you should also take part in the nation. You know, these are the kinds of things you should write to the Prime Minister also, so that he will understand. How many will do that? I'm sure some of you have understood the thing. Yes, you will do that. Okay, mark a copy to me also. Huh? So that when I meet him, I'll ask him whether he has taken any action, because I meet him in some other meetings. Okay? So, okay. Now, let us see when water is there, where all the animals. See, these dots indicates various animals like sloth, bear, tiger, etc. You know, they all are there where water is there 12 months. Where water is not there 12 months, which animal is there? Can any animal stay in a region where their water is not there? Yes, there is one animal, that is two-legged animal, struggling for water, fighting for water. So that shows the rate. Now, let me give another example. You know how when you maintain the integrity of the Mother Earth, how you get food and medicine. See, these two species of fish we described it. You know, they are new to the science. We have given the name. When a new child is born, how do you name it? No, like that we also named it because nobody has identified it. You know, because my students identified it, we had a privilege of giving the name. We named it as Shishtura nagodiensis and Sharavatiensis because it was a Nagodi stream and Sharavati stream. Shishtura is the genus. Okay. Now this fish is also important for curing the respiratory diseases. So I thought that okay, this fish has a medicine. Let me bring it to Bangalore, culture it so that if I succeed, then I can become a billionaire. But that poor fish fellow didn't have the medicine when I cultured it in my lab. You know, message here is, if you want medicine, you should grow that organism in its habitat. You cannot create in the system which is alien to that. Okay? Now, you all know about frogs, no? Frogs are known as amphibians. Why do we call frogs as amphibians? One at a time. Huh? Why do you call? You can raise your hand. I will choose a person. Why frogs are known as amphibians? Because whatever you shouted is wrong answer. I want the right answer which can come from a silent person. Why do we call frogs as amphibians? My friend, yellow shirt. So you are a yellow t-shirt. I am saying yellow full arm shirt. amphibian ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? ಕಪ್ಪೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರ? ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಕಪ್ಪೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ?
They are physics and maths students.
But this is sixth standard. If you have kid at home, that kid will be telling us what is why amphibians we call them. That's only the change comes only after the 12th. You had science background, no? Okay, you sit down and look at your textbook. Okay. Okay. Now here somebody was shouting, no? Frogs. Who is that? Why there's no voice? Who want to answer why frogs are known as amphibians?
They can live on land and water.
can live on land? You are also in swimming pool and you are also here.
No, they require land and water to complete their life cycle.
Okay, you are partly correct. Can you slightly improve that? You are correct actually.
They
Because
require-
of the last word, I am saying you are correct. I have given you the clue.
especially for reproduction, they require water.
Yes. You know, the life cycle, if you look at juvenile stage, the tadpole stage requires water. Next stage is an adult stage. It's on the land. Okay, it is not, it can live in both.
Requires
See, when you are born, you are in the nursing home or a grandmother's place. After that, you are in the urban area. Okay. Now, if there is no water, what will happen to frogs? It cannot survive. No, tadpole cannot. In such a case, you know, one of the species, Philatus leucarinus, we saw that after fertilization of the egg, no, younger ones are emerging out. No tadpole stage on the 14th day. Because the region didn't have water. This fellow has learned how to get adapted to the situation. This is called adaptation. You know? But I will write it and give with the changes in climate, what's happening. We will not have water on the earth. Can you survive without water? None of us will survive. It is only these organisms will survive. If we, for that, we need to wake up. And we should minimize our burden on the earth. Okay? Okay. That is where, you know, we have been talking about it. If you look at Lord Shiva, you see the water. Look at carefully the hair. As long as Mother Earth is covered with the greenery of native species, she retains the water and gives the water throughout the year. If you convert that green saree into the synthetic one, like rubber or acacia, she gives the water only for 6 months. If you degrade the environment, she will not give the water immediately after that. That is where when you look at, say, all of you have good hair. When I put water on your head, no, the water will be there. Suppose if you have removed the hair, if I put water, what will happen in few seconds? It will come. The exactly same thing happens in Mother Nature. Now, identifying such an important hydrological function, you know, our elders that conserved a patch of forest. They declared it as the sacred forest, or Devarakadu, or the Khans. You know, they understood the importance of the forest for the availability of water. Now, what is we are doing? We are converting that forest into the concrete jungle. You go to any of these temples, historically, they were all the forest where people were worshipping the forest. But today what happened? Go to South Canada. Every home has the Nagapana. Earlier, people thought that okay, forest is there, because of the forest, the water is there, because of the water, the snakes are there. But now today they replace the snake with the stones. You know, that's an unfortunate thing. Now there is a water scarcity in South Canada and Chikmagalur, the region which is supposed to have good water. Okay? Now, historically if you look at, we have not learned the lesson. That's where we should look at the history. You know, people thought that land is available. They went on expanding Easter Island. You know, one fine day people have to vacate the island because there was no water. Another case, if you look at Vijayanagara kingdom, last leg of Vijayanagara kingdom failed because of the water scarcity. So that means if you abuse the nature, then you are going to pay the heavy price. And recent thing is a COVID. You know, next month I don't know whether we can walk like this. Again COVID is, yesterday report says Kerala is increasing. So that means we are going to pay the heavy price. Only the family which face the problem will understand. You know, when a young man of 28 years collapses because of the COVID, the family understands the implication. That happened last time. Okay? So, now if you want to reduce that, what can you do? As a youngster, you can contribute in your own way. I would say take a balanced diet. Pulses and lentils. Lentils and millets. You are conserving the water. Okay? The benefit is that if you look at it, helps in weight management. Those who want to bring down the weight can eat more and more pulses and millets. You will see the people who take more of the the items like the pizza, etc., they are more obese, okay? And it also helps in optimal brain function. And it is a good source of vitamins and minerals, reduce the risk of cancer, and boost the digestion. You know, you might ask, what is the fruit? See, one of my colleagues, when he was head of the place, no, he had sugar, diabetes, blood pressure, etc. But after retirement, you know, when they retire, then they start interacting with people like me. So now if you look at his food habit, look at his food plate. He has 5 varieties of vegetable, 5 varieties of fruit, each of about 50 grams, and a bowl of pulses. You know, the diversity in food plate will give you the immunity, and the pulses gives you the stability to the body. And now, when you start having this kind of diet, the water footprint also is lower. Now, do you know how much water you consume per day? If you take everything, you know, cooking and water that has gone into the rice and our growing, etc., how much water each person would be consuming? One at a time. Who wants to answer? How much?
90% of water.
I don't want percentage. In the liters. Huh?
Around
7? 7 liters. Are you sure? You don't take part.
60 to 70 liters.
Bathing is not there. Drinking, you want to grow the plant, invite the wild animal, they grow deliberately rice or sugarcane. The wild animals come searching for that. They will raid the crop, they will kill somebody, then our fellows will seek for compensation. You know, this unfortunate thing only we have the problem. The government should say, in a villages where the wild animal conflict is there, the farmers shall grow only the pulses and millet. We have solved the human-animal conflict. Okay? Okay. Now, should I stop here? I think I have given you the enough message. Or do you want to see what is happening in Bangalore lakes?
10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes. I can just ask questions for 10 minutes. Do you have any questions? How long you can listen to a person? 25 minutes. That means I should go out. So you are saying that my concentration is gone, so okay. We'll start 25 minutes from now. Start the clock, okay? Can you keep the clock on now? What's your name? Can you keep the clock on? Okay. Okay, now you will know about Bangalore. You know, Bangalore, when Kempegowda was there, and today's Bangalore, okay? When Kempegowda was there in 1600, okay? Sorry, 1800, you have during that period, 1452 water bodies. We had 80% green cover. And today Kempegowda is there. Where is? At the international airport. One fellow is standing there, looking at the dust only. Earlier, he had created water bodies. You know, in a region, he had a water bodies everywhere. 1452 water bodies. Because of the temperature during May month was 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. And during December, the temperature was 0 degrees Celsius. And today, the temperature is 34 to 37 degrees. Okay, 0 degrees you don't see at all. And when 0 degrees was there, we were growing apple in Bangalore. You know where we are growing apples? Not in the factory, not in apple factory. In a palace orchard. You know where palace ground is there, that is palace orchard. That region is called orchard, okay? So we are growing apples. Today what do we grow? We grow waste. Waste fellows and waste. That's it. Okay? So that's how the city, which was a garden city, slowly became garbage city. Today is a dead city. Now when you look at Bangalore, even today if you plan, you can revive Bangalore. See, we have 193 water bodies. If I just re-establish the connectivity among the lake have solved the lake problem. But who are the people who are sitting on the lake? You know, my friend Sarathi is sitting on the lake in R.R. Nagar. You know who is that Sarathi? People blindly follow him. No? Are there any Sarathi followers here? He also has a name called Darshan. Like that, you know, that's where they. Okay, now I will skip some of the slides because she said 20 minutes, okay? I will not go to that. I will just. See, now when the lakes were there, you know, people are having the water at 80 to 100 feet in their well. You know, after removal of the lake in 5 years, it went down to 600 feet. And today, you go to Nakshettihalli, near IISC, there is no water. 1,900 feet they have gone, there is no water. So that means the lake has some linkage in having the water in your wells, okay? So then, what are the goods you get from the lake? You get fish, you get fodder, you can grow crop, you can drink the water.